Hey, welcome back. We are on day 6, and today's photos I printed a little smaller than I meant to, but we are going to make it work on a single page layout. Let's see if I can accent these photos while, using embellishments and whatnot. So I'm hoping I don't drown these out with my embellishments. If I need to, I can print them larger. I printed them at home. But I was thinking more like a grid style and doing a bunch of pictures all the way around with a big title in the center. But then when I printed them, I didn't have as many photos as I thought, and they printed smaller than I meant to. So then it's not going to be a grid style. So first things that I was thinking to kind of bring your eye to the center is doing a frame style. So I cut a piece of, this is actually limeade. This is close to my heart, but it does coordinate well with the reindeer days from Stampin' Up. So that already makes my page smaller and brings your eye into the center. Another thing I know I want to use, because these photos are of us baking, this is the freshly baked, and I love this Life is Short, Lick the Bowl. So it's actually a fairly large stamp. So I'm thinking that could go right about there. And then I could bring in my photos, something like this. And then I could maybe add some stamping, some journaling, some embellishing, something along those lines. First, I am going to get my title stamped on so I can start embellishing around it. Oh, I also need to fit my number, so my number could go somewhere in there too. I'm bringing in some mocha ink along with my foam dauber. I'm going to ink around the edges of this green paper, and then I think I'll also stamp my title in brown. So let's go ahead and start by inking around this. We haven't gone crazy with our baking yet, but these particular pictures, my husband was making cinnamon rolls for us, homemade cinnamon rolls for in the morning. So I got some pictures of him doing that, and then, yes, he is more of the cook than I am in this household. And then we just got another batch of honey, and so we wanted to try making some candy with the honey. So we made some toffee and some suckers. There, I'm already loving that more. Actually, before I put this away, let's go ahead and get this down, and then we'll get our title stamped on right away. Oh. Didn't work. Okay. Oops, let's flip that over. Always let your ink dry before you lay it on your white. Otherwise, that happens. Which, I might be able to cover that with my next layout. We'll see. Let's go ahead and stamp that title right away here. So I have an acrylic block that's not big enough. Let's use one of these. That should work. And I'm going to be risky and stamp directly onto this page, but hopefully that works. Okay, I just want to make sure I have enough room for that, so then this will go right about here. Just want to get it good and inked up. This title might come in again when we do more of our Christmas baking. We usually do a ton of baking this time of year. Okay, now we just want to make sure that this is pretty straight. And we'll just give that a moment to soak into the paper. And it didn't stamp fully. I was able to line it back up and stamp again. So I mostly wanted to get the Lick the Bowl clear because I have another idea for this little banner piece. This is my Misty. It's just a mini, and I'm bringing in some white cardstock. I'm going to use my Misty this time because I'm not stamping directly onto my layout, so this will just help me get a clear impression. I can stamp it multiple times. So I'm going to reuse that Lick the Bowl. Okay, pick that up, and then we're going to use the Glacier. Okay, and I'm just going to focus my ink on that banner piece. I don't need to redo the Lick the Bowl, but obviously it's going to get on there a little bit, but I'm just going to focus my ink on that banner. Make sure that's on there. And let's stamp it once. See how that comes out. And there's a little bit down there yet on the banner that I want to get a little clearer. So we're going to put that back on, add a little more ink there. And stamp again. There, I think that looks great. We will move that, clean up our mess. I'm just going to use my micro tip scissors here and just cut around that banner. Usually I would leave a white border around when I fussy cut, but because we're going to piece this onto this banner, I'm going to cut directly along it. And technically you could still leave that white border around on something like this, but I'm just going to go right up along that ink. All right, there is our Life is Short, and that'll just go right over that brown there. And if you see a little bit of the brown, it's not a big deal. It almost looks like a shadow. So I think what I'm going to do is actually just add the adhesive to the brown here. And then I can just line this up. There we go. Life is short. Lick the bowl. I had some of this paper left, so I thought that would bring in more Glacier if I brought that down towards the bottom and just help my photos have a resting spot. I do want to matte these, so I'm going to bring in some white and at least do one white matte around them, but then I might also end up matting them in Glacier, or I could even bring in some jade to match these trees, which again, jade is a close to my heart color, but it matches pretty well. I think I'm going to ink around this in Mocha, and I don't know that I have a whole lot of room to double matte these, but I do have my 6 here, and then maybe down here, or just up there, and then I might be able to do another little embellishment over here too. I have some of these wreaths, so I could kind of do a circle on each side and bring in one of those bows. So then that would kind of tie in that. Let's ink around this first. I decided to do just a little cluster here and move this photo over, which is a little crooked, but it's not wanting to move. Okay, so these were just some sprigs that I had cut previously in my vegetable tray. So we're just going to get those down about there. Does anybody know how to make the glue stop coming out the top? It like continues coming out even after I'm done, you know? And then I went around those edges with my Glacier just to bring in a little bit more of this. And I want that there, but I want this underneath. So Let's get this bow on, and then I can kind of determine where I want that. Okay, I'm working on getting all of these glued down. Typically, I would want to use foam dimensionals to pop this up, but my book is already getting bulky with all of the flips and whatnot that I'm doing. So where I can cut corners and stay less bulky, I am. I'm just going to put something heavy on that. I hate how much glue is wasted here. Okay, I gotta get my pin put back in. And then what you see here are some clear gems just from my stash. And I think I'm going to bring some over here to kind of bring that down. And then I might put just a couple up here. There. That kind of, they're clear, but they bring in that silver kind of sparkle. So there we go. I don't have a whole lot to say about this layout. It was pretty simple. I didn't know where this layout was going to go. Yeah, pretty simple, but it tells the story. And look at how my Dane is always tilting her head. It's so funny. Anytime we like sprinkle or we're cooking or anything, she's always tilting her head at us, and it's so cute. I love the piecing I did here and my little cluster there. Super simple, but it's another one for the books. Have you guys started your holiday baking yet? Let me know below. Until next time, live a life worth scrapping. Bye, guys.